Какие у вас голуби замечательные там.
Очень приятно, кстати, да?
Чудо просто.
Ага.
Может мне такси попробовать поймать?
Что?
Может мне такси поймать попробовать?
Ну, мы будем смотреть. О, вот видишь, тут много должно быть. Сейчас.
Ага.
А треножников взяли?
Угу. А вон едет. Сейчас постоим, появится что-нибудь.
Кондя таких много. Очень ничего страшного. Англия же это крайне неаккуратная страна. Я никогда не опаздываю на лекции. Никогда. Смешно, да? Почти не верится. Никогда. За всю жизнь.
А сколько должны человек там быть примерно на лекции?
Человек 10, я думаю. Я думаю. Я говорю, такое очень элитное мероприятие. Вот такие дамы, такие...
Это не такси.
Что?
Это не такси.
Нет. Я сейчас говорю и про Англию, и про Россию. За не опаздывая на лекции, один раз отменил лекцию.
А в связи с чем?
Жутко. Я чувствовал, что я ее не смогу прочесть. Просто был очень... был измотан до такой степени. От усталости уже был совершенно так случилось. Был измотан до такой степени, что отменил один раз за всю жизнь. И один раз за всю жизнь забыл. О, это был... Но, пардон, не записывайте. Влюблен был. С вами это случалось, я уверен. Что?
Не, он не занят.
Вот смотрите.
А правда, что когда-то вы однажды заснули на лекции?
Вы знаете, да? О, причем заснула, расхаживая. Ох, это был ужас. Это был ужас. Это были страшные 2 недели. Когда у меня был приступ, ну не дай бог, это бывает с людьми. У меня было воспаление вот этого нерва. Вы знаете, да? 2 страшных нерва. Один здесь, а другой. А вот это уже смертельно на лице. Это уже просто люди умирают от боли. В жизни у меня такой боли не было. И не спал 2 недели вообще. И потом меня вылечил один врач.
Вас, наверное, просто боль отпустила, наверное, в этот момент.
Нет, вылечил полностью.
Нет, в момент, когда на лекции, я думаю.
О, нет, в момент я уже стал спать, и вот тут уже боли не было, но я засыпал на ходу, когда шел на лекции, и вот заснул, расхаживая. Заснул на лекции. О, вот.
Нет.
Но...
С той стороны что-то едет, но я не пойму, она занята или не занята.
Это было
Это было вот как раз.
с теми студентами, о которых я вам говорил, необыкновенно.
С таким.
Вот самый лучший в моей жизни, в Лондоне. Вот когда я заснул.
Нет, это кто-то вот занят тоже. Тоже занят. Голосовой. Вот он.
Да. Ну, смотрите, а. О, запаздываем. God almighty. Front entrance to British Museum, please. Ну, вы знаете, не записывайте. Это у меня физиологическое отвращение к опозданию. Вы это можете понять? Можете, да? Наверное,
Это
вы...
всю жизнь или только здесь уже?
О, нет, это, я бы сказал, это поздно появилось. Но уже появилось с такой силой. Причем появилось в нации, в народе, чрезвычайно склонным к опозданиям англичан. Знаешь что?
Да.
Причем в целом, простите, что я повторил тоже. Сейчас говорю, англичан. Народ не любит работать. Видишь, совершенно жуткое, пардон, разгибайство. Вокруг жуткое. И вы можете спросить, на чем все держится? На 5%, которые работают день и ночь. Везде. Вы можете себе представить?
Ну это англичане или не англичане?
Англичане. Нет, это уже как бы британцы. Это все, ну вот есть какие-то люди вот везде. Но должен же кто-то работать. Я-то считаю серьезно. Ну вот. Вот как и мой зять, муж моей дочери. Да. Он говорит, у него в фирме 230 человек в Сити. Работают 15. Я же говорю, да это же, да как? Он говорит, вы не понимаете, это очень много, это счастье 15 человек. А потом сказал, а ведь на самом-то деле нам остальные 215 вообще не нужны, вы прекрасно, не полагается. 230 человек. Но ведь это одна из черт вообще современной культуры.
Что вы имеете в виду? Что в культуре тоже то же самое?
Абсолютно. Я помню, как вот это в Америке я беседовал с двумя американскими философами, и меня спрашивают, скажите, а сколько вообще вы знаете философов, то есть людей, с которыми вот можно в Москве? Я говорю, в России мне известно 4 таких человека. Он говорит, что очень много. Мне, говорит, известно, он из Нью-Йорка, мне известно 2 в Америке. А вы знаете, мы должны как-то привыкнуть к мысли, что это так и должно быть. А что вы думаете, культура делается массовым порядком? Вспомните, при Августе Октавиане огромная римская армия. И он пишет сам 2 офицера, которые делают все. Это, кстати, заметьте, это и кто-то, возможно, и, в общем, интересные какие-то выходы на общекультурные рассуждения. Вы понимаете, что это ведь не вопрос о роли личности в истории, совершенно не то. You know what? Probably it would be better because we are late. Well, please stop at the first opportunity. Because we are late for lecture. It's here, if possible, somewhere. Oh. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
I gotta get up. Well, I've got 25 pounds upstairs.
О, придется мне немножко на вас.
Ну, не торопитесь, вы сами.
Нет, я не тороплюсь, я знаю, что... Все, спасибо.
Yes, yes.
Hello.
At your service.
I'm Fiona Buckley.
Splendid.
Hello, I'm Claire Dungy. Hello. Okay.
Yes, it is my friend, journalist. No, I was promised a map.
Oh.
They got it, yes?
I'm having a tutoring course at the moment.
Sorry. Но кроме того, англичане не любят рано вставать. Я не удивлюсь, если вы 5 человек. How much time? Do you remind me?
You have an hour for the first lecture.
1 hour.
1 hour, 15 minutes.
Yes, for
Depends on you.
question, yes.
And then a 15-minute break, and then you start again at 11:30.
Splendid.
So you have two lectures.
Remember. Смотрите, она все-таки чуть-чуть побаивает.
Может быть, вы сидя будете все?
Ну, может быть, смотри, сначала ты вспомни. So glad. Well, it must be so. That's my age. You know. Any art whatsoever. I'm not a man of art. I'm not a man of visuality, you know. So, about art, well, you will be served by great experts. So, and I will be talking about different general things, and my second warning, it is introduction, you know. I simply want to introduce you in some things, in some historical and cultural circumstances which are necessary for our understanding of Indian art and any art. Well, you know, it is unusual. And particularly, it is necessary for our understanding of Indian culture, which is very specific. So now, my dear friends, the last general remarks about myself. I'm a philosopher and historian of Indian philosophy. So, you know, well, no luck, yes. No, for you, I mean. So, very small historical, or I would have said ethnogenetic introduction. India, that subcontinent, as you see it, yes, as you see it, since the time when it appeared in the eyes of non-Indians. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, for your general development, the very idea of history of any country has any strength only from the time when what? That country is seen from outside. You understand it? There can be no history of any country from inside. It is not yet history. So, when India first appeared before the Greek, Hellenic eyes, before the Chinese eyes, because, mind it, it's extremely interesting fact. When I speak, for instance, about Chinese eyes were historical eyes as Hellenic eyes. Whereas Indian culture itself, ancient Indian culture, it does not provide us for thousands of years with a single historian, ladies and gentlemen. Can you imagine it? And it is it is very important for our understanding of India, first of all, of Indian art, of ancient Indian art. Well, so, of course, you may ask me, why was that so? Why that strange non-historicity of ancient Indian art? A lack of interest is there. The answer is very primitive, very elementary, and nevertheless true. Because absolutely ritualistically and religiously oriented Vedic culture, ancient Indian Vedic culture, was oriented to eternity. Time did not matter at all. To interrupt me immediately and ask the question. Yes, please. You are free to ask any question now, at any time. You understand? Yes?
Can I ask?
Louder,
Yes, a question.
yes, splendid.
I mean, how do you interpret eternity if you don't really mind time?
Oh,
That's what I would like you to give a particular
excellent question. But
definition of yours.
Now, I am here not to tell you how I interpret eternity, how they did interpret eternity. Only in one way. The things they were dealing with, they regarded as never having any beginning, nor any finite future. The main ideas about gods, rituals, all that was in fact regarded by them, not by me. Atemporal, no, unhistorical, non-historical, because it always was so, is so now everywhere, and will ever be so. That is what I call non-temporal, non-historical foundation. Now I understand it.
So time was absolutely not there. There was no even a concept of time as such.
Well, there was a concept of time, but that concept of time was in this sense very pragmatic. One time of the ritual, time of interaction of man and gods. Yes? Understandable?
Yep.
Thank you very much for your question. And you follow his example, please. Now, but now, let us address the time, historical time, when India was presented to other non-Indian eyes. What did they find in India? By the way, one other remark, a bit aside remark. There was no term, no ethnic terminology in ancient Indian culture. The term Indian was our invention, was invention of foreigners. Yes. They were absolutely uninterested in their self-identification. We are living now in a period of time when everybody is mad. Identity, identification, and other stupefying terminology. There was no such a problem in ancient India. They knew perfectly well who they were. And the answer was, we are And so we are reading in the text in the earliest Vedic commentaries, what is the difference between an Indian in double quotes. We now call them Indian, yes. Well, the difference between them and between all other peoples in the world. Forget all that humbug about race, please. It did not interest anybody. The main difference was we are those who perform the ritual in Vedic Sanskrit, and all others they do not perform. It was seen as purely religious, more than that, ritualistic difference. I know it is different for us to consider it, yes. Not religious, ritualistic, because the whole religion with thousands of gods, with hundreds of different beliefs, was reduced to its ritual core. And we are called themselves nobles, only in this very sense. Aryan, yes, is the person who performs this kind of ritual, understand? No racial sense was any such in the Vedas. And those wild men, barbarians, they are wild and barbarians, not because they are black or brown, but because they do not have our ritual. Okay, now, so we again are returning to the time when India presented what we call now India, and Greeks before us presented to the external eyes. Indian subcontinent was populated by the 5 ethnic groups. Don't forget my use of the term ethnic. Ethnic means only one thing, which means language. That is, Indian population was in a way, most ancient Indian population was distributed between at least 5 families of languages, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, just. Tell me please, to what family of languages English language belongs? You do not know? I cannot believe it. Yes, no. The present secondary school must be now. Remember till the end of your days, my dear lady, Indo-European family of languages. What group? Germanic group. Yes. So, the first ethnic component of ancient Indian civilization was ancient Indo-European family and group, Indo-Iranian group, yes. Those languages later assumed the name of Aryan languages, again from that term, Arya, which means both in ancient Avestan Persian and Vedic Sanskrit, the name noble here is metaphor, as I told you, of the ritual. So we may say that at that time we have this Aryan ethnic element, mainly in North India, mainly in North India. Here, look. Avian element. Not yet Vedic, ladies and gentlemen. First element, not in terms of antiquity, because we do not know when the first Aryan Indo-Europeans appeared in India, that is, came through Khyber Pass from modern Afghanistan to North India. Supposedly, according to some archaeological data, it was somewhere around 16th century BC, probably even a bit later. That is, at the time of the growing expansion of ancient Indo-Europeans from their cradle and homeland. Where was it? What is secondary school in England?
Syria.
Where?
Syria.
You know, Scythia after. But because they migrated to that which was by Greek much later called Scythia. The point of departure was Anatolia, modern Turkey, from where all Indo-European people, as it were, started their millennium-long journey. So finally, yes, some of them settled where? I'm very quickly enumerating the groups of Indo-European family. Some of them came to Italy, a so-called Italic group of languages of Indo-European family. Some of them became Celts, Celtic group of languages. Yes, not yet British Celts. Well, it's much. Some of them later became Germans, some of them Slavonic tribes, some of them Baltic tribes, and those who in the end, I'm simplifying everything, yes. It is only, I'm doing it only because of the catastrophic state of humanitarian science in English secondary school. Complete nightmare. Yes. Now, so a very big number of tribes started its movement, its very long movement from modern Turkey, not through Caucasus, through a Black Sea shores, through the steppe region, later called Scythia, yes. Don't forget that these are a typical Indo-Iranian, or so-called North Iranian tribe and culture, yes. Then from there to northern Caspian region, South Urals, from there east, modern Turkmenistan, then southeast, through eastern central part of Iranian Persian plateau, yes, through present time 3/4 destroyed by common efforts of international community. Yes, then the international community will destroy everything. Yes. The more international it is, the more negative it will be. Yes. I'm not a politician. I respect politicians, even most idiotic about among them, for their they take the task. Yes, not me. Yes. Who were they? They were, let us not exaggerate, what now is very fashionably called nomadic and half nomadic. According to Renfrew and other archaeological theories, that their way of life was, which is nowadays called nomadism. Yes. So they traveled from, shall we say, central western, probably part of modern Turkey, to North India. Yes. And that journey took about something like 700-800 years. And they were speaking Indo-Iranian language, almost the same in ancient India and in ancient Persia. Almost the same in the sense in which almost the same are English language and Dutch language. Almost the same. Within the same family languages, within the same group. Yes. Completely understood. Yes. Okay. Now, now, what about culture? Now it is the first very important remark. I'm not going to speculate to what extent the nomadic way of life did influence their world outlook and culture in general. But one thing remains certain. Their culture and its most ancient modifications, but now I'm speaking only of that first component of ancient India, area in Europe. Their culture was indeed devoid as far as we know. By the way, archaeology of the most ancient period is almost non-existent. Why? It's very simple. They did not build. Yes, they did not build palaces. They did not build towns. They did not build what? Cities, highways, fortresses, nothing, in contrast to what Near Eastern culture. Well, more than that, and it is very important, at the time when they imported into India their language, Vedic language, they did not write. And it is one of the enigmas for our understanding of Vedas. Vedas from the very start were absolutely through and through exclusively oral texts. Never forget about that. No other factor influenced ancient Indian culture at its inception as oral texts. Orality. Oral, that is, and that is culture from the very start was, shall we say, was defined as oral and what? Audible, not as visual. All that we know of that culture, we know through oral texts. More than that, Communication was oral. What do I understand when I use this term? Tradition. Communication of culture and time. Yes, from one generation to another. That communication was also exclusively oral. And when it is exclusively oral, and it is at the same time a bit of philosophy, ladies and gentlemen, don't be afraid. It's exclusively mental, yes, based on memory. Now, hundreds of thousands of Westerners, by the way, a bit later, I hate that we do not live, for heaven's sake, try to get rid of that vulgar language. West and East. Never use this term. It is almost as banal and vulgar as the first world, the second world, the third world. Try to get rid of that idiotic terminology to resemble your days. It's okay, forget about that. Because it is not only vulgar, it is historically untrue. So, from the very start, we are present at the inception, at the beginning of not only of oral texts, my young lady, but of oral tradition. Texts existed only in oral tradition from generation to generation through memory, and that is why hundreds of thousands of people in the United States, England, Russia, yes, who are enamored with yoga, do not understand that yoga is a consequence of that significance of oral tradition and memory. When you do not have it in the text, you have to rely on your memory, on your mind, not on anything material. Yes. It is of extreme importance. Accordingly, it cannot be exaggerated. Now, anticipating some other things, let us continue. What Vedic texts, what were they about? They were about ritual, or rather about the ritual in Sanskrit, Rita. By the way, according to the earliest commentaries, those texts of Vedas, by the way, they're very big, very bold. Well, all Vedic texts we often, yes, put together now in English translation. It would be, well, something like 300-400 English pages. All those texts existed in only oral tradition, without any written fixation, for at least 1,600 years. And that tradition preserved the text unimaginably exactly. Only recently our scholars started understanding that any material preservation of text is very low. It depends on very many external factors like wars, earthquakes, floods, while Vedic tradition, in fact, brought them from one generation to another, from one, without slightest change, with preservation, even intonation and musical tones. No exactitude of preservation like that can be achieved in Akkadian than Babylonian written tradition. Yes, dozens of highly developed written traditions, which remain totally unknown to ancient Indian culture. Not forever, but for the time. So, yes, about ritual. It is description of ritual, interpretation of ritual, but first of all, the Vedic sounds were themselves the most important element of ancient Indian ritual. Not images, but sounds. And that is why we see that, I would have said, a determining element, denominator of ancient Indian culture. Sound was regarded even in Indian philosophy far more important than that word. Sound as such, the significance of any word in Vedas was determined by sound. More than that, was itself sound. Sound, how you pronounce, how you intonate it, how you remember it, how you communicate it in time and space. It was a culture of sound and memory. Sound was the religion. Vedic hymns, their uttering, yes, was the ritual. They are composed of hymns, of religious hymns addressed to one or another deity or the world. Ancient Vedic ritual is very rich, one of the richest in the history of world culture. One of the richest. But I must pass to it that the Vedas preserved probably some elements of ancient in the Iranian Orient, probably in the European region. What does it mean? That they indeed imported it from other countries to India. At that time, very, very modern in its ethical position. Now, let us get some position. So that Indo-Aryan, that is, in terms of linguistic and Indo-European component of ancient Indian population, the first. The second component was what? Still remains. The Dravidian. Represented by such languages as, first of all, Tamil language, Malayalam language, Telugu language, and some other languages. Now, again, but never call, as a lot of Dravidian nationalist writers, ladies and gentlemen, that nationalism of any kind is one of the most typifying factors of modern culture, of any kind. And the more lofty, as it were, culture of nationalism is, the more beneficial to our thinking and our understanding of things as they are. So, of course, our idea is which part of the population was autochthonous, whose was primary. That question is idiotic. No country has its primary population. It's an incorrect formulation of the question. Because Dravidians, for instance, let us think of discourse. Celts still recently, Irish, Welsh, and energetics, because they insist that Celts don't really, of course not, ridiculous.
It was the Welsh.
Well, of course, ridiculous. Then he was highly experienced farmer, yes, highly experienced agriculturist. At the same time, he was blacksmith, sometimes silversmith, sometimes it is unbelievable. It is impossible to believe when you read the descriptions. Sometimes, but jeweler, can you imagine? Sometimes poets. They were great poets, great self-made at the beginning and then following poetic tradition of the Vedas, yes, poet. And all that in one man, yes. Cattle breeder, farmer, agriculturist, blacksmith, jeweler, and first of all, warrior, ladies and gentlemen. Or simply speaking, yes, bandit. Simply speaking, bandit. They were classical polymaths. At the same time, creator of the Brahmanical text. They were. I know now it is practically forbidden to speak of any nation in such terms. Yes, you are immediately branded by idiots, of course. Yes, branded racialist or racist. Yes, but believe me, they were deadly talented people. Yes. Yes, I'm prone to be known as a racist, but I insist. They were unimaginably talented people, doing all those things at the same time. And wars into reverse squabbles of that early pre-feudal period. There was no regular slavery, not yet, at that time. So, they were strange people. Whom do they remind you in that polymathism? Whom? Try to think it again. Secondary school deficient in this country. Yes. but not only in this country. Don't worry. Yes. Please.
Leonardo da Vinci.
Sorry. Oh no, Italians. Specialist. Vikings, Norse. You know, start reading Norse sagas. You know, let us take such a hero as Egil, yes? The strongest, cruelest bandit, the best, player in, the best chess player, the best chess player, the best jeweler, the best blacksmith. Very cruel man, cruel, treacherous, unprincipled person.
How do you know that?
I described in detail in the Icelandic sagas. Go and buy it in any bookshop. Sorry?
In India, Aryans, so the people who created...
Well, how do I know about them? Texts, hundreds of texts, thousands of texts. So, those people, they created wars, they created death, they created agriculture at the same time. Those who now create death, they create nothing but death. You understand the difference? They are untalented student. The warriors of ancient India were Brahmins at the same time, for the time being. Then there was a time when Brahman priest was forbidden to be a warrior, but in most ancient times, that polymatism was absolutely amazing. Every man was in himself everything. Yes, he knew how to do. He could build a house for himself. It's amazing. But now,
What about the women?
you know, about that, all my answers, by the way, due to the character of Indian culture, all my answers are based not on my intuition or my highly dubious knowledge, but on the text, material text. So, no speculations about the role of women in ancient India, but read the text, the best text, which will give you a lot of information, is of course Mahabharata, little text, no more than 6,000 or 7,000 English pages. By the way, the biggest epic in the world history, Mahabharata. There you will find a lot about the role of women, or rather of seen through the central lady of the epics, poor Draupadi, yes, who was in fact a dictator of gigantic tribe, yes. Now, but now we are coming to the most crucial question of our lecture. Hitherto, I was telling about the prevalence and centrality of ritual, yes, and about the Vedas as a part, as an essence, one of the essential parts of the ritual. Yes, okay. Now we have to go to the second central notion. The first was ritual. The second is text. Remember it for heaven's sake till the end of your days. That is significance of text for ancient. What do I mean? I mean any fixed orally or in a written form. Any fixed text. Yes, transmitted in oral tradition. You know, the problem with those texts was that it is problem for us, not for them. Yes. For them there was no problem. It was, by the way, people for whom a real man, for a real man there is no problem, you know. Problem is invented by weaklings, the very term. Oh, darling, I have a problem, yes. You weakling, go away. Sit quietly. Yes. Problem is invention of sick culture. Yes. Now, but the thing is that it is problem for us, not for ancient Indians. For our narrow-mindedness to grasp it. So, already as early as the 10th century BC, as a result, we have a lot of additions traditional Vedic texts. For instance, we have the 4 Vedas. Rig Veda, that is Veda of the hymns, of the sacrificial hymns. Yes, Yajur Veda, Veda devoted mainly to the description of rituals. Samaveda, Veda centered on sound and, as it were, musical side of the Vedic performance. How to perform it, how to recite it, how to sing it. The ancient Indian literature is the Rig Veda. Exists in at least three English translations. Yes, quite readable, yes. Given the interest. But now a few words about how a text, an ancient Indian oral text, don't forget about its orality. How did it exist? By the way, let us ask ourselves this question. How a text does exist? How does it exist now? Say, the novel appears, yes. It is written, it is published, it is with God's help printed, yes. Then it is what? Read. Then it is reviewed, yes, in, shall we say, Spectator or Times Literary Supplement. I prefer the latter, yes. Now, it is existence of the text. Then it is not the end. You are meeting your friend and saying, by the way, yesterday I read one miraculous book, yes, recently printed. Some from the hundreds of books appear, yes? From Martinemis to Chili Cooper. Yes. Hundreds of books, trash, rubbish, and serious, very interesting books, galore. So we are living in a kind of variety, immense variety of texts, which are written, supposedly read, discussed from time to time at the table, yes, or even in the university. Such is the order of existence of text in our time, in ancient India, Vedic and post-Vedic time. That the oral text exists, first of all, in what? Uttering. Secondly, in hearing, in uttering, in performing, in hearing, in repeating, in memorizing, yes, and by means of memorization, transmitted from one generation to another, from one a part of India to another. But all this is of secondary importance, because the main way of existence of any Vedic text, it was existence by commenting and being commented upon. Yes? And what is very interesting, in our culture, essentially, Greek, our country, let us say it in black and white, essentially our culture is classical Greek culture. Yes, of course, we enriched it a lot, spoiled it a lot, destroyed it a lot. we continue to live within the framework of Mediterranean, Hellenic and Judeo-Christian tradition. Yes? So, our idea of commenting the text in that tradition is, yes, okay, let us take Iliad and Odyssey, yes, shall we say 8th century BC, yes, oral tradition, then very short lived oral tradition, then we are coming to the 7th and 6th century, written 5th century. So, both Iliad and Odyssey is not only heard but read. Yes. Then what? Commentation. That in fact started already in the 6th century BC. Then next commentation. Then next commentary, and then finally, after Zoilus the critic, the latest period of commentation by great Hellenic scholiasts, the beginning of 2nd and then 3rd century. Yes, the teacher who knows in by memory the text of the Veda. He teaches his pupils. Yes. 3, 4, 5 people sitting around him. Yes. There was a great discipline of pupils, because in the absence of written tradition, you have to be very well disciplined. If you forget now, you may well forget it forever. So listen to him, to your teacher. Yes. Of course, it was strengthened by modern teaching. Yes, it's necessary even today. Yes. If we are not with things, we are not. Yes. Now, but what is the difference? The difference is that he not only teaches you how to pronounce the text, how to memorize it, how to continue it to your pupils when you have already become a teacher, yes? But he teaches you how to understand the text. So he creates the first commentary. And it is not in the next generation. No, and any pupil can, at the spot, create his own commentary on his commentary. And the third pupil, his own commentary on your commentary. Yes, so multiple commentation. Not only in time, as in our Hellenic tradition, but also in space. That is simultaneous. It was the first feature. Text means of Brahmanical text. Text, why Brahmanical? Because all that was performed by priests. Brahman was a name for, like love, you know, or food, yes, or transport, yes. Now, one, I would have said, essential about those texts. All the Vedic texts were sacred texts. What the hell does it mean? The sacred text. Everybody knows, yes?
In Sanskrit language?
Well, sacred not only in language, because Sanskrit is Vedic Sanskrit is sacred language. It is a very interesting point because most of the people are unaware of such a phenomenon as sacred text. Now, take my very elementary definition of sacred text. It's very simple. Yes. Sacred text is a text which is considered sacred and worshipped as a, first of all, now listen, as a thing, irrespective of its, irrespective of its content, irrespective of what is it about, irrespective of whether you do or do not understand it, irrespective of whether you are a cultured man, yes, irrespective of whether you do or do not believe in what is written and said in that text, is worshipped as a thing. Shall we say, as a book, yes. Such text is called sacred text. So, that is the main difference between sacred text and the religious text, because religious text is any text used in religion, yes. Sacred text is not only used in religion, it is worshipped. Regarded the Holy Bible as a sacred text. The text and began with what? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not speaking of secondary school. Let's forget that. Yes, what was particularly in the early and middle rabbinic tradition? Where practically ignorant, yes, but sometimes you read in the Talmudic commentaries that because those who know the Torah are practically divine, at least as divine in Kabbalah, as or more than that in India. The Vedas are sacred in its actuality, in its physicality, in its the Veda thingness as a thing. What is a very simple definition of sacred text? And sacred texts were not only worshipped. Speaking of Buddhism, very interesting. That tripartite, strictly speaking, ancient. It's very interesting. By the way, it is not only ancient Indian mythology, it's practically in very many mythologies. Mythology is a way to explain something. Well, so when a young man asks, why should I perform this ritual of Agnishtama and of establishing the altar of Agni in my house in the presence of at least 6 priests? What? Sexual intercourse with a stallion, yes, with a horse. After that, the horse is, oh God, stuffed.
What?
Yes, that's
So first you have to have sexual intercourse with the woman?
imitation.
Ah.
Imitation. I'm very sorry, but you know, unlike real life, in symbolism, we have to be exact. Not the horse is having sexual intercourse with the lady, but the lady with the horse. She's the active side. Why? Because it is she who will produce what children. Her part in the ritual cannot be violated. So only after that, and then horse is killed with spiteful. It's a terrible process of killing.
By slaughtering?
Sorry?
They slaughter the horse. I mean, the cat is...
No. Only not a single drop of blood must be shed.
Not a single drop.
No, strong blood. That's it. Yes. Yes.
I was under the impression that Ashwamedh
To go anywhere.
Yeah.
But after his sacrificial death, yes, after that, the horse becomes the universe. It is a symbol of more than that. It had become a kind of universal image of being. But let me remind you here again, which being? There is one being, ritualistic being. It is a dharma. The first, its meaning is not as something must be, but as something is. The things as they are, the way of things as they are, and only secondarily as they must be. Again, it is very typically ancient Indian, shall we say, trick. Because we have to start in any investigation of anything, we have to start not with as or how that thing and what it must be, but what it is. So Dharma, it is a kind of norm. Wandering ascetic, yes, of course. Ascetic here, king here represents power. And ascetic represents knowledge or wisdom. Oh, great king, what do you want to do now? Yes. And what the usual normal idiot king or prime minister or president wants to do? Yes. To make war. Yes. Oh, great ascetic, oh, great wise man, I want to wage a war against Sajara, against the tribe of Sajara. Okay, king. I need your advice, great ascetic. No. Well, now, king, tell me please, do you know what is war? Well, let me think, yes, it seems to me, great ascetic, stop talking nonsense. I'm asking you in black and white, do you really know what war is? I don't. Yourself, my lady.
Here again, they're not separating the national as we would, the rational from the irrational. And knowledge is also
Absolutely never. Never at cost. Because it is a different, let me tell you, my lady, it is a different section of knowledge. Well, sometimes it is necessary to separate it. But the more factual the knowledge is, that idea of factuality penetrates all Brahmanical texts. First of all, let us stick to facts. Who describe, by the way, their own way to knowledge in absolute elementary particle simply cannot exist. That's it. And There is no other energy. Only when you give it, it exists. The moment you say, "Oh, darling, you know, today I'm so weak, I have no energy." No, it does not exist. And philosophy, to all the Buddhism, to all these things. But let me tell you, to talk to him. For me, that for Lord, we're speaking about Theresa Baron. Sorry, Lord, I said Baron. We started talking. You remember him, yes?
Yeah, from the child. Very different views and whatever.
Yes. You know, and we Duhaevich in Russian. Simon Duhaevich.